G'day, Nick here from Animal Engineering. So today's mission is I need to get ventilation to the engine sorted. So at the moment it's just kind of wafting out into nowhere. So got the old little catch can here. So the plan is to get some breathers going from the valve covers into that bad boy. So I've got a couple of these just weld on buttons here from Raceworks. So basically just going to pull the valve covers off, weld them in. You can see on this one there's a hole there already, so I'm just going to weld it straight on top of that one. But on the other side down here there's nothing there, so I was going to drill a hole and weld that fitting into that side. And we've got a couple of like the vents here. We'll just block them off and we should be good to go. I did actually buy some other valve covers that I was going to put on there, some nice sort of aluminium ones, but you can see my clearance. The clearance there to the old clutch master is very, very tight, and the other valve covers won't fit. They also stick out a lot further, and there wouldn't be enough room between them and the exhaust that some turkeys made for this thing with the coils on. Even without the coils, the valve covers themselves still won't fit, so there's just not enough room there with the pipes coming through. So we're going to stick with these ones and just modify them. Alright, so those ignition coils out of the way, you probably see how close that is. Probably like 2 mil gap there. Now the engine is solid mounted, so it hasn't got any flex or anything in it, so there's no real chance of it smashing on there during operation, just being solid mounted, so it's not really an issue. You can see I have had to grind one of these mounting bosses off just to make way for it there, but yeah, it's very, very, very tight. Alrighty, you ready for this shit show? I don't know if I am. I think it's going to be pretty rugged in there. That actually came off quite easy. I thought I was going to have to pry it off to his own. Have a go at that. Oh my god. That's brutal. Oh, that one came off pretty easy too. Almost get the feeling like someone opened this up and went, sell it, sell it. Holy dooly. You see the state of that one too. That's nasty as hell. Oh, it's going to take a fair bit of cleaning up before I can actually do any welding. So I'll make a start on that and I'll come back when it's all clean in about a week. Well, straight away I've come over here to give them a bit of a clean up, so you can at least try and get it nice and clean to weld. And straight away I've found there's like an inner piece here. So that's where I was planning on welding to, but you can see that piece inside can't actually get to clean, which is a bit of a bugger. So, you know, obviously I guess that's just to stop oil splashing out and make a little bit of a vent channel to come out of that hole. Right. The other one's not the same. It hasn't got the same sort of thing, and it's just got these pieces here which sort of go through and out these vent tubes. So I can get to this one to clean, but alright, we'll have to do a bit of investigating and destruction, I feel. Righto, so I've just been and explored option A, which was the valve covers that I brought. So I've got them on the engine now. You see there the sort of aftermarket ones, and I've just pulled the header down. So one side, so I've got them up on the I'm hanging up there at the roof at the moment, out of the way, but yeah, just pulled this one down just to double check and make sure that what I was thinking, why it wasn't going to work, won't work. As you can see here, the clearance from the coils to the actual header themselves is super close. There's no room to have any sort of connector coming off the coils, and even if I was to relocate the coils, this valve cover is sticking out too far. Don't know if you quite see that, but it actually comes out a lot further than the standard ones. So even if I was to relocate these coils and have leads coming through, there still wouldn't be enough room to actually run them between those covers and those tubes. So I'm gonna have to stick with the standard ones and just try and cut that inner piece out, so I can, but yeah, good to those headers looking there though. Woohoo. So yeah, what we have to do is try and do a bit of dissecting, and basically on this one I'm gonna have to come in and try and cut this inner piece out so I can get to the back and clean it up. And yeah, you also see on the driver's side here in Australia, you can see the issue I have here with the clutch master cylinder. So I'd actually have to take a fair scallop out of that valve cover and weld another piece in just to clear that as well. So that was one of my initial reasons for not using them in the first place, that, and they just extend out a lot further than I thought they would. Probably if I had have actually done this before building the exhaust, I could have worked it around and changed the exhaust system to actually suit these valve covers. But it's what we've got. So yeah, we'll just hack this thing to pieces. We'll try and cut this piece out, and then I can get in and clean in behind and do the welding. This one, so these little vent tubes that are here at the moment, I was going to leave them on, and you just get these little rubber caps. Just put a rubber cap on there with a little hose clamp, block them off, and that way I don't have to mess around with any of the stuff inside. So this one's super easy. It's just a hole in there, clean the back side so it's nice and clean to weld. So yeah, we'll get on with that. So pretty much we've decided I was going to attack this with the old die grinder. There's like some little rivets you can see here. So there's a few little rivets around the show. I'm just going to try and grind the head of them off. And I'll basically just use a die grinder to cut through this, and should be able to get that out of the way and clean in behind it. So yeah, as you can see, I've now got nice good access to the back of there to clean her up. I don't really need to worry about going too much further that way because the heat's not really going to get there anyway. But I'll just leave that bit in there. Yeah, we'll clean that up. Hell, that is nasty as hell. That's crazy. Look at that. Alright, we'll get these cleaned up. Alright, it's time to drill the hole in this valve cover for the Raceworks fitting here. So we've got 20 mil. Biggest step bit I've got that'll actually just go in my cordless jewels, this one which is an 18, so I'll just smash that in and I'll finish it off with a file. Well, I've got bigger drill bits for me, big drill press there, but I can't be bothered setting that up, to be honest. got that piece all cleaned up. You can see nice and clean there. We've cleaned it up on the inside. I know there's going to be people out there freaking out right now that this is all dirty and you know it's all dirty over here, but you know, as long as the part we actually going to be welding is clean, that's the main thing really. So yeah, aluminium has to be super clean, and that's clean enough for what we're up to. Alright, there you go. That's the first one welded in. So yeah, we'll just finish cleaning up the other one, then we'll weld that in. See there, I sort of used the file and a bit of sandpaper and that just to get right down inside this little corner here, nice and clean. Yeah, can't really stress enough how much aluminium has to be clean to weld it. Any little bit of shit, it's horrible. So anyway, we've got the fitting cleaned up, got this fitting valve cover cleaned up. Yeah, we'll put this together. There you go, that's the second fitting welded on there. Went alright as well. So yeah, see the other side. You know, as long as where your welding's clean, that's the main thing. Doesn't matter what the rest of it looks like. Yeah, should do the job. We'll wait for that to cool down, we'll put it back on the motor and we'll make the lines up that go to the catch can. There you have it, we've got two all breather lines made up. We'll run them to the catch can and the job is done. Which is good, that's just been one of those little jobs that's been niggling away for a long, long time. It's good to just finally get that one ticked off the list. Wow, righto there old boy, pull on the old handbrake. So in my excitement of ticking another thing off the list, I turned to the old social media to share my exploits and success, only to be shot down and brought back to reality that I didn't do any research at all, just brought a catch can, put it in. So turns out this catch can, no bueno. So that's a 750ml catch can, and anything over 2 litre engine capacity requires a 3 litre catch can. So this is not finished. Barely even started, in fact. So anyway, we're gonna pull this bad boy, we'll pull that bad boy out. I'm just gonna use all the fittings and everything from that. I'll just cut that thing to pieces and I'll make up my own catch can. So yeah, we'll get started again. Yeah, you see what goes on inside there. It doesn't look like it goes all the way to the other side. Anyway, so yeah, like I was saying, I'll just cut these fittings off. I'll probably just cut this top off and reuse that into whatever I make. And then yeah, just reuse these fittings. I'm not gonna bother ordering new fittings and stuff when I've got them on here. I can just cut this apart and can't be bothered waiting. I want to get this done. Got some ram board from Bunnings, so I'll cut that up and I'll make a cardboard template of the tank and should be able to get a rough idea, work out the volume, make sure it's going to be 3 litres. So this is stuff I'll be using here. It's just ram board. I guess they use it in building. I don't actually know what it's for. Something to do in building. It's just like cardboard basically. Nice, thick, easy to make a template out of. So just going to use that same filter. It's starting to take shape. Alright, so probably been out for about 10 minutes or so. This is the sort of what I've come up with. Sort of fits in there. So it fits in there fairly nicely. I think I'm going to have to trim the height down maybe 20mm, just so I can get this actual breather on here. and clear the bonnet. I think now I'll tape the living crap out of it, try and fill it full of water and see how much it holds. Alright, so I got me cardboard catch can there. It's all made up. I think I've managed to seal it up a bit with tape. Cut a hole in the top, put a mark there. So pretty much anything above that is going to be higher than where the hoses go in. So I'm assuming that 3.5 litres has to be below that line. So it works out, this is 150 mil square by 200 mil deep. So what's that, 6 inch by 8, 6 inch and 8 inch, somewhere around there. That works out to a volume of 4.5 litres before taking this cutout out. So it's 3 litres water. See how quickly we can smash this in there, and hopefully we won't get too much leak out, and should be able to get a bit of an idea of how much it's going to hold. Oh, unbelievable. So that's the mark I had on there for the fittings. That's our mark. So you see I put a little bit of cardboard in there, just a bit of a dipstick to see where the water got to. A little bit did leak out, not a great deal. And that sort of came up to there. That was your 3.5 litres. So anything below that's 3.5 litres. So taking the height out, I've got to take a little bit of height out so the air filter clears the bonnet. But I think even with that, we should be fairly good. I've got these other fittings here, which are like, what are they, 45s. So rather than going out and buy some more fittings, because they are pretty pricey by themselves, these are just knock off Chinese ones, but you can't really just sort of buy them around here. You've got to go like Speedworks or Raceworks, Aeroflow, that sort of thing. They are pretty expensive. So I might even just chamfer a corner on a 45, and then I can put that in, and it will actually come off at a 90. So yeah, I think I'll do that option actually. Rather than coming to the top, I'll just put a 45 on one corner, smash that in, job's done. So yeah, just a quick little 20 odd minutes on that. So now I'll go over to the computer, I'll draw it up, and we'll cut it up, fold it, start welding her up. Just been sitting here at the computer, sort of pulled the dimensions off the old CAD catch can there. You can see on here, you can see that very well, but got it sort of drawn up on the computer there. So now I'm just trying to decide where to break it up, and so I can take it over to the folder and fold it up. You see the sort of circles there. What I've done is sort of measured, took the lengths of these off the drawing on the computer, just swung arcs through so that I could work out the geometry for this piece here, these two triangles. So you're just swinging those circles out, and where they intersect is where you run your lines out to. So should in theory be pretty good. Alright, so after a little bit of messing around, I've got my two patterns, so there'll be 3 pieces getting cut out. So I don't know if you can... So the 2 white lines you see there will just be cuts that I can just hand bend afterwards. Just because they're so close together, I can't actually get it in the pan brake and squash it and bend it, because it's like a bit of a reverse curve. One goes one way, the other goes the other. So yeah, we'll fire up the old plasma table and we'll cut that out. Alright, there you go. That's been, I'll say, from when I started doing the box here to cutting out my pieces, probably 40 minutes, I suppose. So you've probably seen on the sheet of alley there's just an old bit of 3mm head lying around. Wasn't really planning on doing this, so I didn't get any new stuff, but anyway. So I got those are my 3 pieces there. Just give them a quick clean up. So yeah, we'll fold them up. One thing you do need to do with the alley, using the plasma there, where it cuts, it gets quite oxided. So you need to really make sure you clean up that cut line, otherwise it'll come through when you start welding and cause you a bit of grief there. go. They're all cleaned up, just in with the sander there, just to clean up a little bit. I'm going to paint it black anyway. You see I've scribed, you see that? Scribed the bend lines there. We'll go fold these up and then we should be good to weld. Well, there you have it. It's pieces all folded up, ready to weld. You see the two cuts there. If I go, so that goes on there. With that relief cut in there, I can just bend that down by hand and see there. Yeah, just get it to take the shape that I want. And yeah, just tweak it till it fits in there. Yeah, we'll go through and take it up and weld up. Well, there you go, it's all tacked up, ready to weld, so. Alright, well there you go, she's all welded up, harvested those pieces from the other catch can. Now originally I was just going to cut these out separately and weld around them, and then I just cut it out and realised that it's just stupid really. Might as well leave those welds in there and just cut a rectangle piece out and weld it in there. Should do the job. So, that's the cardboard one. There, should do the job. So now the real test, I guess, is I've got 3 litres of water here. Well, probably what's this, 1.25, so it's probably 3.25. So we'll pour this in and see how we go. Right, well that is full. Don't know if you can quite see here. You can quite see there the water's just sort of just at those fittings there. But I would say that's less than 250 ml in there, so I reckon that's just over 3 litres, which is good. Should probably try and find a container that's 3 litres. I'll do that. Don't tell the wife, but I've been to the kitchen and raided one of the containers there. Always find myself getting the shit, taking stuff from the kitchen out to the old shed here. But yeah, that's 3 litres. So up to that mark there. Here it goes. Oh, he's jagged it. Oh my god. That is only just. Actually, there's a red lines on the other side. There you go. You can make that out. That is bang on. Bang on 3 litres. Alright, we'll call that a success, I think. So yeah, now what we're going to do now is just make a couple of tabs come off this so we can bolt it to the car. Job's done. Alright, there you go, she's all fits in this little spot there. It's good. Probably leave the mounting, probably come back and mount it once the engine's actually out. It's just a lot easier to get in there and move it around. Probably gonna have to move the fuel regulator just a touch. Get it in there. Just try and get it back and squared up a little bit, but I'll do all that later on once the engine's out. The main thing is the catch can's there, it's the right size. So I was gonna pull these hoses that I made up for the other one. So just mark them, cut them and resize them. Oh, there you have it. Finally got a correct catch can in there, 3 litres. Turned out alright. So yeah, we'll leave the mounting and that until I get the engine out. I'll pull the engine out. The fuel lines there are a little bit messy how they run, so I just need to get a couple of fittings for them. I'll move that over and then be able to tuck that right back in the corner, get it squared up. At the moment, you can kind of see it's on the sitting on the angle on the piss there a bit. So yeah, don't really want to leave it like that. But yeah, cheers for watching. Subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.